you have activated your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calm you down part. And that opens this trapdoor back up to creativity and connection.
I
And
really felt it. I mean, that was really remarkable. Yeah.
so that's one of, I have 4 tips if we can get through them that are helpful in a moment. This particular set deals with the physical aspect of dealing with stage fright. And it's something, when you realize it, when you calm, then the rest of your senses can come back online, because you're in a safety mode. If you're feeling like, oh my gosh, what if they don't like me? What if I'm going to mess up? What if I can't remember my words? Oh my gosh, I forgot that thing that I needed for the presentation.
Yeah.
And so there are all of these things that click your brain off. Then that's one very big one that we can do to click our brains back on.
Hi, and welcome to the Entrepreneur Freedom Solution Show. I'm Eric Asbeck, and wow, you're going to love today's guests. This is Diane Alexander, and she is the confidence catalyst. And the way, so I'm going to let her tell you about all she does, but here's kind of how I describe it, is that she helps you overcome your fear blocks and really like unlock the fight or flight response that you have so you can loosen up. So she can explain a lot more about all that. So hi, Diane, welcome.
Eric, thank you so much. I am delighted to be here. You just make everyone feel so comfortable, and your experience that you bring to what you say just makes me excited to be here to help your people as well.
Oh, that's so great. Well, they're going to love you. I already know that. So listen up, everybody. Well, let's just jump in. Tell me about this whole unlocking and all that sort of, tell me about that stuff and why it's so important. Yeah.
Well, my background, just a little bit so that you know, came from, like most of us, I had a turbulent household growing up. So all I wanted to do was be quiet and not make any waves and not be seen. Everything changed in college, though, because I was a musician, but I did all the writing for everybody, did the background stuff. I was never in front of anybody. And when I was waiting for my girlfriend outside her upper class or singing class, the professor stuck his head out and he said, "We're short a singer. Come in here. You're in my theory class. Read this." And I'm going, "Oh, no." So I came in and goes, "Nice voice. Take the class." So next thing I know, I'm in front of a big scary voice teacher saying, "Sing me, me, ma, moo, moo." I didn't know what to do. I didn't know why we're singing foreign languages. I just sang it louder. And if that weren't bad enough, having to do all of this, that I didn't know what I was doing, at the end of the semester, they had these horrific things called juries. And it's as bad as it sounds. A jury is where you have to sing for a grade.
Talk about judgment.
I'm going to take a little aside here. Did you know the number one fear is public speaking? Yeah. It's even more scary that people would rather die than get on the stage and speak, let alone sing. Yeah. So at the end of this,
I'm comfortable speaking in front of groups, but I feel myself contracting in that second, just with kind of like tuning into that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you can help me, and everybody else will loosen up with that in a minute. But
no, it's good. I'm going to give you 2 more pieces to the story as we're going on. But it's like, even in everyday things, if we have to have a conversation that we're nervous about, or maybe have to ask for a sale and you're not real comfortable about it, there's so many places where we get nervous and we get all tied up. And I tell you, at the end of that jury, I had to grab my music and I shuffled down that really long hall to the end where the piano was, and somehow I managed to give the music to the accompanist without dropping it. Then I slid around the piano because it was hard, so I wouldn't fall down, and I white knuckled it. Because they had decided not only did I have to sing in front of the faculty, I was in the public jury. I had to sing in front of the entire music department and their friends. It was like, I mean, my knees knocked. I couldn't remember any words. It was the most horrific thing I ever undertook.
It's like you're singing in a group, and all of a sudden somebody says, "Take it, Diane," and you're like, "What?"
It's like all those things flash in front of your face. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do what I'm doing. They're going to find out I don't know what I'm going to do. or what I'm doing. They're going to kick me out of the department. I'm going to let down my professors. I'm going to let down my family. I'm going to let me down.
And I'm going to be an
Because it's
outcast, and I'm going to be stuck under a bridge and no food, and I'm going to die.
that's really what it feels like. You feel like your very existence is questioned, and worth and worthiness. I mean, everything from the your safety comes up. It really comes from that fight and flight response when we don't feel safe. I like to explain it. It's like when you're really scared, don't you go, huh? Your neck gets tight, the breath goes down, all the energy that goes to your arms so that you either can fight, run away, or hide. You can't see me. Yeah. And for me, it was the I need to do the you can't see me. But my desire to please, to not get in trouble, to be the peacemaker was just this much stronger than the desire to get out of Dodge, you know. And so with that,
the one thing that kept you from running back down that long corridor and out the door screaming.
It was my commitment to being a good job, because I knew for a fact if I wasn't that, then for sure I would be annihilated. And now this was two places on top of one of being annihilated.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember much about that exact performance, but what I did remember is I never wanted to feel that way again. So as my career grew, one of the big chief drivers was, how do we find tools so that people don't have to go through that? And over the course of, I've been doing this for 50 years, teaching voice and teaching performance and directing musicals and helping people in business. And I have a fun thing to tell you about that is too. It is that moment of fight and flight. There's like a trapdoor in your brain that goes from I'm creative, I'm connecting with you, I feel good. Wonk! Safety mode, get out of here.
Oh, right.
And you can't think, you can't breathe. Yeah. You can't. It's just like everything is frozen, and
gravity takes over and you're plummeting.
Absolutely. So my goal came to, maybe can I share a couple ways that I deal with that?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So audience members, try this with me too. Tighten your neck as tight as you can. This is the first stage of fight and flight. Now try and inhale. It's really hard.
It really is.
So if we can start to loosen that up.
And I had to really just let my breath out slowly. And that tightness lingered even after I relaxed. You know, I had to actually do something.
Well, I'm going to take you there. I'm going to take you there. So
I just really tuned into what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Just tightening that up here, just loosening that, you start to feel a release that starts to go down. It doesn't go down as far as we want it. So the next is exactly what you were saying. If you put your hand on your belly and inhale down there, loosen the neck down to your belly, it's going to be looser still. And the third piece, if you can inhale through your nose while you're loosening your neck and hands on the belly, it's deeper still. You have activated your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calm you down part. And that opens this trapdoor back up to creativity and connection.
I really felt it. I mean, that was really remarkable. Yeah.
So that's one of, I have 4 tips if we can get through them that are helpful in a moment. This particular set deals with the physical aspect of dealing with stage fright. And it's something when you realize it, when you calm, then the rest of your senses can come back online. Because you're in a safety mode if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, what if they don't like me? What if I'm going to mess up? What if I can't remember my words? Oh my gosh, I forgot that thing that I needed for the presentation. Yeah. And so there are all of these things that click your brain off. Then that's one very big one that we can do to click our brains back on. Another one I love.
I just great story for myself. Years ago, I was in a hot internal startup at AT&T selling these really these business services that were super in demand, that everybody was knocking down our door. And I created this really great part of the offer that everybody wanted. And I would work with the deal team, and they would go talk with all the huge customers, like the Walmarts and other, like all these huge, like everybody, and they were really demanding, they want all this stuff. And I would go back to work with our operations team were the people that put all the different, adjusted all the components to make it work. And I would come back and I would say, can we do this? And there were some of those things where like everybody's a little stressed. And so people's heads sometimes would explode a little bit in the course of it. But sometimes it could be very we're all friendly, but it could be very energetic conversation because the anxiety that was up there, right?
Sure.
And so as the leader, I had to allow the discussions to go and so forth. But here's my point. I had done some Zen breathing practice before. And so I would sit there and I would the conversation would be going, I'd be listening, but I also be going, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, like I'm okay. Like like it just, and so one of the guys who had a particularly stressful role, he said one time, how can you sit there and do that? And I'm like, I just breathe. But it really was huge. And so so the reason I tell all that story and take the time here is that I'm so connecting into what you were saying about that physical aspect and that whole parasympathetic tapping into that system and allowing yourself the release and just realizing you're okay. Like I'm still alive.
And I want to commend you because another thing that you did, when you add counting to breath, you activate the left brain. And that also starts to bring you back into control of what you're doing. I mean, simply inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4. Or if you take your time, inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, leave it out 2, 3, 4. That also activates the same kind of thing. So that's called 4-square breathing or whatever you like to do it. But I really commend you. Breathing is probably your best key. That I have a ton of breathing things. Any people do it, but the simplest one, like what Eric just said, inhale slowly and exhale slowly. The slower you can get the breath, the more you activate the parasympathetic nervous system.
Awesome. So I interrupted you, but
it's all right.
You're talking about 4 different things, and we just so we dug into the first.
So the physical aspect of dealing with it, there's physical, there's mental mindset, there's emotional, and there's an energetic aspect to it. And a quick mindset one, this really changed my world. I was a church soloist for a number of years, and the tenor soloist's name was Fred. And when Fred would get up, and he'd puff out his chest and his big choir robe and walk out in front of everybody, you could hear a pin drop. Everybody loved Fred. And one day I asked him, I said, Fred, what do you do? Everybody loves you. And he said, when I get up there, I look out toward each and every one of them and I send them all love. I send them all things that are uplifting and good, and I send them all love. And it's like my world changed in that moment, because up to that point, I'd been a student. I'd been in front of these scary voice teachers and the people who were grading me, judging me, criticizing me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've shifted the tables. So instead of please like me, it became, I'm sending you love. I'm giving you a gift. I'm connecting to you. Because truthfully, we as presenters, we need to make it our job to make them feel comfortable. Yet we don't realize we often put ourselves in the spot of, here, you make me feel comfortable and then I can give you my goods.
Yeah.
But that simple mindset, that simple different thing of, you don't have to say a thing, but if I send you love, you feel a difference than if I say, please like me. Yeah. I mean, you can see it, you can sense it right away.
Well, something I'm connecting into, at least for myself, my experience is that if I'm really anxious in front of a group, there's things that I can do. But the one thing that I'm present to in this moment is that if I'm really anxious and like my mind is racing and things like that, I'm literally deer in the headlights. It's like I'm not seeing anybody. Like I'm glazed and it's like there's this sea of faces, but I'm not connected to any of it because I'm so here. But if I were to send love, it means that love to you, like I have, just by the nature of it, you connect with your audience and look in their eyes and like, oh, there's a human and I, the best for them. There's a human. I want the best, like that. And all of a sudden I'm not here, but I'm like energetically connecting with them. Like that I have something I want to transmit for your well-being.
Right.
I don't know whether that makes any sense or not, but
it makes tons of sense.
I was connecting into that kind of feeling. That shift.
Right. It's a big shift, and I want to share something with the next energetic piece. What you're talking about there, another way to explain it would be like, when you're talking to someone and they're not listening to you, they're thinking about the next thing they're going to say.
Yeah.
It's like being on the other end of one of those conversations. So if you're truly listening, if you're truly being open, sending them love and being open to see what What is their energetics coming off you? And some people aren't comfortable to say, I want to give you love, but you could say, I wish you a wonderful day. Or, I have something that's going to make your lives better. Or, would you like to know a secret? That's also energetics that you can use. And you'll find
Oh,
your
I
own,
love that one.
but it's connecting to people. Yeah,
There's
it's
a
all
playfulness in that. Would you love to hear a secret?
yeah, but you see your face changes, the energy changes, and people lean in, which is really changes everything in a moment, which is good. Another part of the energetic piece, this is a perfect segue, thank you very much, is we are energetic beings. We're electromagnetic beings. There's quantum science has shown it. And even if you go, what is that? Think about the last time you went into a party and there was someone in there who was in a great mood and people are coming around and they're laughing. Don't you kind of want to go over there and stand by them because they make you feel better? And then comes in the person who's always complaining, right? Oh, woe is me. You kind of go, oh, I think I'm going to go over stand by them.
Yeah.
How did you know? How did you know that? No one told you. You didn't see it. And in our world, once we open up to the fact that there's more than just five senses, because dreams, wishes, thoughts, hopes, your feeling of the other people, you can't see them, you can't touch them, taste them, all that sort of thing. We experience them in a different way. So once you start to trust those feelings and open up to the awareness that you even have them, you have another whole method of communicating with people. And lots of times you do it without saying a word. You just, when they call it holding the space, that's you staying in your calmness. That's you staying in your, let me give you love. That's you staying in your connection. I have an exercise. Would you like to try that?
Well, of course.
Okay. This one I actually learned back from theater. It's called subject, object, subject. It's also a great exercise in the energetic work I do as well. So subject is you. So with your awareness of you, you can kind of feel where you are, stomp your feet a little, take a deep breath, and just kind of notice where you are and what you're feeling. Okay. Now picture something out there that really bothers you or bugs you or you're not so sure of or makes you a little uncomfortable. Take all your energy and I want you to toss it over there and really worry about that thing. It's going to get bigger and you're not going to be able to solve it and it's going to make a mess. And notice, has your body and you made an energetic change?
It's cringeworthy.
Definitely. So now take all that energy back from that situation. Take that deep breath, feel yourself, cut right back and notice your body. Notice how it's feeling and take that deep breath so you can pull the parasympathetic nervous system back in and calming down. Now come behind your eyes, picture of you behind your eyes, and you're going to look out at that thing. Do you feel differently looking at the thing this time?
It's an other as opposed to I'm in the middle of it.
Absolutely. So it hasn't changed. You haven't changed anything about it. But what's different is that you are grounded. You are in here. And that is not become who you are. It's a separate entity that now you have a different way to deal from it, a different perspective, and you're standing in your own strength.
You know, I have to say, in a sense, that's that same thing that happened to me when I was sitting in those contentious meetings. Because
Absolutely.
if I was like out there in the middle of the table, in the middle of all of that is one thing. But if I'm back here and saying, you know, I'm here, I'm okay. I mean, I was actually, when I said that, I was actually stroking my chest. I didn't subconsciously, but it's like, but just like that kind of, it's okay, buddy. You can do it, you know.
That reminds me of another quick one I love too, is that same kind of stroking. If you gently just stroke your palms, like fingers, it doesn't look like anything to anybody, but it's bringing you back present. And if you do that with a deep breath through your nose and the tiniest movement in your head to release that neck, these are just really quick grounding things you can do in an instant that bring you back to yourself. That exercise was subject, throw your energy on object, come back on subject. And you can actually practice that all day long to get better at dealing with your energy. You can throw it on a stoplight while you're driving and then bring it back. You can make a game out of it. But the truth is you actually are shifting your energy. And the ability to bring it back quickly is really helpful in situations that don't go the way you expect them to go.
Well, you know what happened when you said shake your neck? I shook my neck, but then I let my shoulders just rock a little bit. And then the center of my back, I mean, I just let it kind of ripple down the way you can kind of imagine the way a dog or a cat would just do that with, and they don't have all that stuff that we put on everything. So they just do it. But I was really connected with how powerful that is.
Well, and truthfully, that's how animals, especially dogs, shake off tension, is that they will, they shake it off. And we can do the same thing, probably not in front of your audience, but it's like recently I was triggered a little bit by somebody. I said, "Excuse me," and I went in the other room and I'll do this for you. I went, I
Right.
literally did that.
Right.
And it's kind of, and then another one you can do is to breathe in and out through your nose, aiming from your belly to exhale quickly. It's called a fire breath, but
Yep. Because it forces you to reconnect with, like, instead of being all kind of tied up in here, it's like, oh yeah, there's my whole body, my whole self, my physical self is all, it's not just this.
well, so now I have to say another thing because you are so on the money. We have the brain that we think runs everything, but we actually have three wisdom centers. The next one is the heart that most of us know if you've loved or you lost. It sits right here. And probably the smartest one is your gut wisdom center, the enteric wisdom center. Most people these days know your vagus nerve that runs all the way through your body is its own second. It's sometimes called the second brain, and it actually can function without this one. So these two really house a great deal of wisdom. The problem is they don't speak in English. They speak in feelings. So if we give this brain a new job to start to be aware of these and start to translate the feelings up and through here, it's another practice of integration. Just simply by being aware as you were, okay, I'm starting to get triggered, I'm going to breathe, which, like the dog from your neck, it went down into your body. The deeper the breath you got, your whole spine loosened up, your shoulders loosened up. These tricks, they're built into our body that you know how to use, can bring you back in a moment. They're so, so powerful. They're simple, thank goodness,
Yes.
but they're so, so powerful.
You know what I'm really connected to is that sort of, so I imagine this sort of connected chain of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's like my thinkingness and my emotionalness and in my physicalness. And I can kind of picture this sort of brain turmoil, like stimulating this emotional turmoil, which then stimulates these physical sensations, which could be either heart beating, but it could even be like if I'm standing in front of a group and all of a sudden I feel myself so rigid and my breath is kind of, I'm kind of like putting a lid on it, short breathing, so to speak, that if I just relax and allow not just my breath, but just, even just let myself do that in front of the group, just loosen, literally, people say loosen up, but it's literally allow myself to unbind. I'm just really connecting into what you're saying and the power of it.
Well, and the other thing that you just said is a brilliant thing when you start to speak is because if you're nervous when you walk out on stage and if you're stiff, everybody feels it. They might not be able to put their finger on it with words, but everybody feels it. So in the process that you just did to release yourself and loosen up a little bit, you've given them permission to do the same, and they also followed you around. And that makes you seem human and it makes you seem relatable. Oh, I'm a little nervous too. Or I have other things that are distracting me that I can become present to in this moment.
Yeah. Well, years ago, when I was at Bell Labs, we used to have to give talks to our group on technical topics. So it was always something very intellectually challenging, something complex. And, it's your peers and you want to, and, it's the last thing you want to do is be stupid in front of these people that are so much more brilliant than you and all that sort of thing. So, I was talking with a guy and he said, what I do is, those feelings that I have where my heart's, I feel my fingers sweating a little bit, my heart's pulsing, all that. He says, some people say you're nervous. I'd say, what? I am so excited to be here, reframing it. And I'll tell you, that was amazing. Because I would actually say those words sometimes in front of people. I would get out there. And when I said, I'm so excited, I could be like, I am so excited to be here. And this is so awesome. And I'm just realizing that one of the things that it would do is just that very shaking it loose and just letting my body uncoil. And for that matter, connecting with people and maybe, sometimes they could relate to that, or at least why is he so excited?
Well,
I don't know. That for me, that was profound.
It is profound. The energy of scared and the energy of excited are about the same. It's just your mental look at it. So if you can take that and, as you said, reframe it, we call it scarecited, turn it all the way into
That's a great word.
Another one actually is if you can to make a mindset on fear itself and turn it into curiosity. Turn the fear, what's going on here? Well, I'm curious, what's the fear about? Where can I go with this? What are the solutions? But to turn the fear into curiosity, it's another mindset that doesn't say, oh, go away, you bad feeling. It's let's take that energy and transform it into something else.
Well, even if somebody asked you an aggressive question, when you're like, so you're going through a talk and somebody raises their hand and they ask you some question that just sounds like it's challenging and that they're actually kind of coming off, that it feels threatening. I'm realizing that I can shift that by saying, wow, I'm really curious why you're asking me that, and like get interested, and who knows where that's going to go. But as opposed to moving into defense.
That's a brilliant one. I wonder why you're asking the question. It's along with like, that's an interesting question, or what a good question. Tell me more.
Right.
Because mostly when they are saying that, it's that they have more to say, or they're really voicing an objection, but it's coming out kind of as a perceived attack if you look at it that way. But if you can realize that almost always those people, there's an objection underneath it that they want solved, and if you can solve it for them, oh my goodness, that's even better.
Right.
Now, you might not be able to, but I love your approach, Eric. That's awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks. So, so I was going to ask you what some of the common mistakes were. You've already kind of answered that stuff, unless there's anything else you want to add.
Actually, there's a couple. There really are a couple. In college, they gave us a few ways to handle stage fright that don't work. One of them is just practice till you can't make a mistake. Well, if you're having the underlying fear, you can't paint over panic. It's not going to work. Or imagine them in their underwear. Ew,
I can't ever unsee that.
Oh, no, that does not make me calm down. And oh gosh, there was one more. It was pump up your energy, get it really big, and go out there before you realize you're nervous. That one doesn't work either because it's not authentic. You're not connected to what you're doing. You've gotten so much adrenaline pumping, you can't think well either, because that's really close to fight and flight as well.
It's sort of an amplification. It's like applying an amplifier to get, and you know how like if you got a mic and you're in front of speakers and you turn the volume up and you get feedback, it's sort of, I imagine it sort of goes there.
Yeah, it's true. So we have our physical, which is loosen the neck, breathe in the belly through your nose. We have the mindset, excuse me, send them all love coming around, or the things that you said, scarecited, fear into curiosity. The deep breathing exercises, whether they're the inhale with the count and back out. Excuse me 1 second, I got something a little caught here.
Oopsie. Well, there you go. Very elegantly handled.
Thank you. Well, and I have a really fun thing that is way off everybody's charts that is a centering device that happens pretty quickly. Crystal has been used for decades in electronics because it has a really even vibration. And when we are also crystal, what do you mean? Well, we're mostly water. Water is crystalline. So when our energetic systems get a little wobbly because something went awry during the day or not the way you wanted, or someone asked you one of those awful questions, or you're just plain nervous coming out, your energetic system is in a wobble.
Well, I could just imagine a glass of water near a speaker, and you know how you can see that it's just got those little concentric rings of ripple?
Yes.
I mean, it's just resonating with what's going on around it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when we are next to that even kind of vibration, we also can come calm. So I wanted to share with you one of my very favorite things that people don't think about for stage fright, which are crystal singing bowls. And the crystal singing bowl sound creates that even vibration. So without telling you more about it, what I would like you to do is to notice where you are, if there's any tension or anything going on in your body, and see how this feels to you. Did you feel any shift? What did you notice?
Just an uncoiling, I guess, is the best way to say it.
And so in a short amount of time, an even sound vibration can center us. So I actually have a few friends here that if you'd like a little experience, I'll just play a minute. So relax, take a nice deep breath in, exhale, blow it out. Use whatever color you want, whatever pattern you want. You can breathe from overhead into your belly, exhale it down into the earth, or just an easy breath. And just notice what you feel. There's no right or wrong. Take a nice deep breath again. You can even run your fingers across your palms to bring yourself back into the room. And how was that for you?
That was great.
So in a short amount of time, if something's going on, you can flip on a set of headphones and calm.
I had refrained from saying before you started this, you guys are in for a treat.
Thank you, Eric.
So I was going to ask you a number of things, but we kind of covered a lot of it. So let me just do two kind of final things. And it's like, is there any other one golden nugget that you'd like to share? I mean, you've already really given us a ton of them. So
No, it's good. It would be in the encouragement piece, because some people feel like they don't matter and what they have to say doesn't matter. But you do matter. You matter. Your voice matters. Your message matters. Please share it. People need to hear your story. The audience that's just meant for you is out there waiting for you. They're not waiting for me. They're not waiting for Eric. They're waiting for you.
that's great. I'm just letting myself be with that. And so I'll just do this. Is there any like one question that you wish I would have asked? If there is, how would you answer it? It's okay. I mean, we've talked about a ton of stuff.
I think we've covered all the big things that I really was wanting to share. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. This is so great. I'm just I have a peacefulness that's come over me in the experience of talking with you. So thank you.
That's probably the most wonderful thing you could say to me. Thank you.
So I am certain there are people that are going to want to get in touch with you. So how do they do that?
It's easy. It's my name, Diann, no E, just Diann, at Diann Alexander, Alexander. So Diane at DianeAlexander.com.
Awesome. And you've given us so much. But is there anything else so this is an opportunity if you wish.
Oh, absolutely. I'm thinking, because this is more of entrepreneur, I have a PDF and it's called 5 Offstage Keys, the things that you do before you get on stage for Onstage Radiance. And you can find this at www.accessyyourgift.com/5 keys, KEYS. So that's www.accessyyourgift.com/5 keys.
That's so great. People are just, I'm looking forward to hearing the response that you get, because I'm certainly have loved this conversation.
Well, it's my joy and passion to empower others so they can bring their message out. Nothing makes me happier. In whatever form it is, whether it's speaking, whether it's, I had to do a job interview and I had confidence to do it, whatever it happens to be, the fact that we learn how to integrate, head, heart, gut, brain, so that we can be okay in our own skin, that we can find that strength and bring our particular talents out and feel good about it.
Yeah, it shines through. So thank you so much, Diane. It's been a true pleasure.
Indeed, Eric. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Take care.